horse right here. The name is Paul Revere, and here's a guy that says if the weather's clear, can do.
Hello racing fans, and welcome to another edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. I'm Mike Heads along with Drew Forster. We're going to go through the Sunday, May the 12th races at Hastings. Drew, we got 8 races on tap. Should be a good day.
This is where the road to the BC Derby starts.
Yes, it does. We do have our first 3-year-old stakes race. All the Derby hopefuls start stamping themselves, trying to get some earnings to get in the starting gate. Because I know usually it's a little, you got to get earnings to get in there to get in the top 12. So
we've had a couple 3-year-old allowance races. This is the first big test. First stake race goes today. Fillies on Saturday, boys on Sunday. It looks like a really good race too. Yeah, the Preakness next weekend. Don't forget, if you can't make it out to Hastings, get here to the Derby Bar and Grill. Always lots going on at the Triple Crown races, and we'll see if Orb can continue on his quest. Yeah, Derby Day was a riot here. We were packed. We had people sitting on milk crates. It was full up. That's good. I know they always have a good time coming down here to the Derby. So let's get to the first race. First half of the double on Sunday. We do have some $4,000 claimers. Another one is a 3 lifetime. I see a bit of speed in here. It looks like the 2, Notice Sal, the 5, none of that, and the 6, Time Machine, all have the same kind of running styles. Yeah. So I'm going to hope the 4-horse Minstrel's Time gets a good trip in behind them. This horse is running against some tougher competition last year. The work tab's been good. Craig McPherson is never afraid to use Jeff Birmingham the odd time, so it wouldn't be a surprise. They win one at a big price last Sunday. That's right. So it wouldn't be a surprise to see this one be pretty live. I just think this horse will take a good trip in behind the speed. So I'm going to try the 4-horse Minstrel's Time. I put the 2-horse Notice Sal in for second. It's the obvious horse. Might get pressured a lot, though. That's why I'm going to maybe try and beat him. Each race, his last couple, his numbers have gone down. It was 65 buyer first time, went to a 50. A little leery that maybe the price is always going to be low on a horse like this. So, you always have to be wary of value. So a little concerned about him. And I put the 1-horse Dilwyn in for third. I kind of liked him in his first couple of races, but especially last time he had no excuses around just a mid-pack finish. But I think he can beat a lot of these and maybe get on the board for third. But I do like the 4 Minstrel's Time. I went 4, 2, and 1. I went with a 5, none of that. Ran a big race though last time. It's 4 non-2. He's a lightly raced horse. That was his first start of the year. I think this horse has some upside. Made no mistake that day. Just kind of ran away and hid from him. Yep. Melanie Walters off to a great start in her training career. Yeah, she really is. 8 starts, 3 wins, a second, third. 6 out of 8 in the money with 3 wins. She's batting 38% right now. And her and the always dangerous Robert Skelly are batting 1,000 together. So I like none of that in the first. The second, I went to Notice Sal, as you mentioned. A horse that figures in here. Short price, though. Not going to pay a whole lot. And the third spot, I put Time Machine. Richard Hamill takes over from Amadeo Perez, and I don't know what... it's his third start of the meet. He's fit. He should fit in this race. This category kind of fits him nicely, this non-winners of 3. So I went 5, 2, and 6. On to the second. Claiming $15,000 for 3-year-old fillies, and I went to a very short-priced horse in here. I went to the 6 Pineapple. Yeah. She ran away and hid from last time. Did it fairly easy against pretty much these same horses. So I'm going to stick with Pineapple. I see it kind of going the same way today. I see her getting the lead, and catch me if you can. Catch me if you can. I don't know if anybody can run her down. The second spot I put Uniqua. That's the one who finished behind her the second time. I'm not doing a whole lot of heavy thinking here. I see it, pretty much the same. I got 6, 4, and Fadrality has been training well. They were really disappointed in the run last time. It's rare that you see a horse out of this stable after a race like that go right back to the same price, so maybe they're expecting more out of her. I got her in the third spot, 6, 4, and 5 for me. Yeah, I flip-flopped your top 2. I like Uniqua. I think the 1, Always Red on Sunday, will show a little bit more speed. The 2, Nimbleen, and the 3, Cassidy Storm's very fast. I think Pineapple may get compromised at 6.5 furlongs. Uniqua gets another 16th of a mile to kind of run that one down. Had to go wide on the turn, so I think Uniqua might be able to turn the tables on Pineapple. So I've gone 4, 6, and I put the 2, Nimbleen. I thought there was more in the tank when she broke her maiden. The horse had been running at Turf Paradise in some maiden special weight, optional 30s actually. Wasn't disgraced at all, but I thought the run-up, even though the time was slow,
Amadeo was always confident with this horse and was running on well at the end of the race. There was, as I said, there was a lot more in the tank, so I think she's worth following as well. So I went 4, 6, and 2. On to the third race, the Jim Coleman, of course named after the great scribe, Hall of Fame scribe, Jim Coleman, of course writer of Hoofprints on My Heart, and a great racing book, if you haven't had a chance to read that. But a former Vancouver Sun columnist, Jim Coleman, Hall of Famer. Race named in his honor here. And I've gone to the 5 Bridge Jumper, only a field of 6, undefeated, 2 easy scores as a 2-year-old. Went to the sidelines quite early, though, a little alarmed there, but the work tab's been very good. Aaron Greider obviously had his choice of riding Glencoe Kid or a Bridge Jumper out of the Troy Taylor barn, and he ends up on this one, so that speaks volumes, I think. I put the 1 Proud Victor in for second, a very game run to Major Dundee. And I put the 3 Tracker, who's had some big races last year, in for third. He's a horse that might take a nice trip today, and Richard Hamill will be the new pilot on Tracker. Works have been good, but Bridge Jumper should take some beating. I went 5, 1, and 3.
I agree with Bridge Jumper for the reasons you mentioned, and I know that they're high on him. They think this is their best 3-year-old. They think he's much better than Major Dundee. If Major Dundee run in here, he'd probably be the favorite. I just think Bridge Jumper's a horse to beat in here. I put Glencoe Kid in second. He's only ran here once. I was in the Ascot graduation last year. He absolutely crushed that day. He strikes you as a horse that's going to need more distance, but he did run 6.5 in the Lost in the Fog at Turf Paradise, got in a whack of trouble, and still, he's got a nice turn of foot. He still got up to win that race. Came back to the Turf Paradise Derby and kind of just blew up that day. He wasn't himself. He was washed out on post-parade. It wasn't his day. I'm going to throw that race out. I have him in second. And in third spot, I put Proud Victor, last year's 2-year-old champ. As you mentioned, big race behind Major Dundee. Just got beat the last few jumps. So I got him in for third. He's a nice horse. 5, 4, and 1 for me.
Of note, too, Glencoe Kid, I believe, has been gelded.
Yes.
It does show he's a colt in the form. I know they make many announcements of that, but Glencoe Kid has been gelded as well. He wasn't a little unruly in his last race, so there's been an equipment change on him.
Yeah, just ask him. He hasn't forgot about that. On to the fourth, maiden special weight for fillies and mares. Again, sorry to be a chalk player. Again, I went with Miss Derrick. Likely to be a short price. Couldn't quite catch Hollywood Miss last time. Hollywood Miss got on the lead, cruised around there. Miss Derrick made a nice run at her. Couldn't catch her. But I think the horse to beat in here. In the second spot, I put a first-time starter on the Troy Taylor barn, Beck Stauffer. Aaron Greider takes the call. She's been working here. She's looked good in her works. The last work, that minute and 3, she looked really... She was in company, and she pretty much ran away from the one that she was working with, which was a horse that had been running. And in the third spot, I put Willamette. She ran third in that same Hollywood Miss race. Hard knocking little Rosberg filly out of the Dino Conolinos barn. And Rosbergs are really making their mark known here at Hastings. Rosbergs are running very well, so he's a sire to keep an eye on. I went 5, 6, and 3.
I'm going to go to the 3-horse Willamette. I'm going to take a shot on her. I know she did lose to Miss Derrick, but I think if Miss Derrick was going to win, I thought it would have been last time. Had the benefit of all those races at Santa Anita. Was racing fit.
She was race ready.
Willamette's had a race under her belt and nice draw, and I just think maybe Willamette can win it. I put the 4-horse Touching Promise in for second. She's been working well for Barb Heads in a couple of 59s. This isn't the toughest of maiden allowances, so I thought she performed admirably last year. She ran 4th in an allowance or maiden allowance going long against the boys, Stone Ridge Gold step up in North Pacific, so I thought that was good. And she was second to Courtroom Kiss. She has a little tiny thing. She's grown a little bit, and I think she'll improve. Big break in the weights, 209 pounds. It's a lot of weight from a lot of her rivals. And I put the 6-horse Beck's to offer. I don't know if it's a beer thing or Beck's to offer. Do I have some Beck's to offer? I don't know. I don't know exactly what it is. I think I'll do a little more research on it next time. But Beck's to offer, connections you have to respect. It's filly by Horse Greeley. Excellent pedigree and nice work. So tough not to like this one. Definitely, I think you need a few in here, though, in your early pick 4. But I went 3, 4, and 6. On to the 5th race. Some maiden 5 grand fillies and mares going 6.5. I'm going to land on the 10-horse Princess Sparkle again. I liked her last time from the 10 hole, and unfortunately, she's been saddled with the outside post again. Ran second. Had every shot to beat Spirit Wandering, but couldn't do it. So I was trying to beat her, because I did like her last time. The price was going to be right, but I just look and I just can't find there's not a lot of pace. I know I wanted to see the pace setter in here. If you can find the pace setter in this race, you might have yourself the winner, because it looks like it's probably going to be a 23 and change opening quarter. And I know probably my horse, Princess Sparkle, isn't going to be the one setting the pace, but I'm going to land on her. I put the 7-horse Triple Witching Hour, a 16-time maiden in for second. It shows you how much I love the race when you're picking 16-time maidens that are 5-year-olds.
That's quite an angle you got.
Yeah, I know. It's not usually very fruitful, but this horse, some decent races last year, but I just look around and I just, no. You start going, but the work tab's good. Terry Smith does a good job with his small stable, and I always pull for the guys that that have the smaller stables.
Absolutely, good guy too.
And work hard. So I'm going to put that one in for second, and I put the 6 Power Skater for third. Melanie Walters and Amadeo Perez. So just a race I didn't love. I looked around, tried to. If you can find the speed horse in here, as I said, you might have the winner.
Yeah,
10-7-6.
Absolutely. I landed on the 10 too, just because she looks the best out of a band of misfits here. I put Power Skater in for second. As I mentioned earlier, I like the way Melanie Walters' barn is going. And in the third spot, I put Appropriately out of the Dave Forster barn.
Undefeated.
Exactly. Not a 16-time maiden. She's a Holy Bull out of a stakes-winning mare here, Make Contact. Yeah. They're obviously not very high on her because she shows up first time for maiden 5. But I do like yesterday.
She can get around there in 120. She might win it.
She just might do it. She worked in 35 and 3 yesterday. Maybe that'll sharpen her up. Maybe that's her speed horse. Yeah, I don't know. Aaron Greider's on her. He knows his way around the track. And what the hell? I threw her in for third. She could make some noise in there. If she can run at all, she probably will.
Check the paddock on these horses.
That's right.
Go to the paddock. If you're at the track, look at the paddock. You might be able to find the winner there, because this is a race that could pay volumes.
This could be the surprise one in the bag. I went 10, 6, and 4. On the 6 3-year-olds and up for 10,000. I landed on the 3-horse, the Invader from Woodbine again. Out of the Anita Bolton barn, Cafe Electric. Scott Williams takes the call. Horse that got some big numbers at Woodbine, 75, 68, 73 buyers. Any of those is, if he can post one of those kind of buyers, he's going to win this race. He's a 5-year-old. Got a nice little record, 16 starts, 3 wins, 2 seconds, 3 thirds. Not bad at all. In the second spot, I put Huckley out of the Condolinios barn. Dino's barn is having a very strong year. Him and Frank Fuentes are a dynamite combination right now. They are lighting it up. This horse is ran into some tough horses since arriving here at Hastings. Only ran the once last year. He ran into Herbie D. Comes back this year. He runs into a stablemate Pop Artist who just wins and wins and wins. Now he's in a $10,000 race that is obviously much softer. I have him in for second. And in the third spot, I put Congratsky, one that Steve Henson claimed in Phoenix for 12.5, or 10,000, sorry. Ran it back for 16. Not sure what happened that day. He started bad and whatnot, so definitely some question marks there. But I like, since being here, he worked in 59 and 3, so he's taken to the track. Steve Henson's off to a good start. He gets Aaron Greider. I went 3, 4, and 1.
I'm going to try the 7-horse in here, Drew, Funny Face. I'm going to go back to this horse.
I always liked Funny Face. I don't mind Funny Face.
I liked the horse last time, and the horse didn't show that customary 21 and 4, 22 flat type speed. And I'm hoping that that's going to be the case this time. Kind of just rated in behind the speed, and then kind of was running up nicely, but then got swamped by Stamp of Approval. Yeah. And when you get passed on the turn by a better horse, you usually end up
kind of takes the life out of you,
flattening out. And Stamp of Approval came back to win for 15 grand. So this horse ran third. I know it was Alberta Breeze and Stamp of Approval, but I just think this horse can maybe get the lead in here. Lookout Dubai is probably going to be the fastest. Funny Face could sit second and get a really good trip. So I'm going to try Funny Face for Craven Sorensen and Mel Snow, second out of the box. I'm going to give this horse another chance. I agree with the 4-horse Hockley. This horse made a really premature move down the backstretch, made an early run against slow fractions. They ran the last quarter in 24 and 1. That's huge here at Hastings. And this horse didn't lose that much ground in the last quarter. And this horse was wide out. So give Hockley another chance on the class drop. And might be a better pace scenario for him as well. And I put the 3-horse Cafe Electric in for third. As you mentioned, Anita Bolton, a horse that's got some nice numbers coming in from Woodbine and some nice work since coming here to Hastings. Scott Williams will ride. So I went 7, 4, and 3. On to the 7th race, kind of our co-feature of the day. A nice allowance event for 3-year-olds going 6.5 furlongs. I got a field of 8 here. I'm going to go to the 4-horse Red Rose. I'm going to take a shot on this one because if you look at the race, 8 horses, we have 6 of them that absolutely look like they want to go 22 flat, and so something's got to give. Red Rose, and hasn't proven that this horse can come from off the pace. This horse won in wire-to-wire fashion in his debut last year, but came out and ran a kind of an okay 5th behind Stormer for Becca and stablemate Tiggertown last time. I like the comeback 2 works. Fernando sticks with the horse. He won on the 6 Knightsbridge last time. He stays with Red Rose. Yeah. I just see a wild pace in here. I was looking for an off-the-pace horse. There's no confirmed off-the-pace horse that can really produce a good run. So I'm going to hope that the Red Rose is that individual. I'm going to try him to win it. The price will be nice. Put the 1 Stole It in for second. Game win over Whose Daddy Is That? And, last time went 22-1, 45-2. Fended off a pretty nice horse. And Leo's in the house early and held off the closers. So I think he's a pretty nice horse. And I put the 2 horse Weather Bill in for third. Claim for 40 G's by Bob Chima for Anita Bolton. And this one might be live as well. Works are good. There's a lot of ways to go in here. I left out Knightsbridge, Amazing Rosie, both nice wire-to-wire winners without pressure, though, on the head end. So I just think there's going to be a wild pace in here, and I'm going to hope the 4 is your off-the-pace horse. I want 4, 1, and 2.
I did go with one of those pace horses. Actually, I went with 3 of those pace horses.
I know. Well, they may go. They may last because there is no. When there's no closer, sometimes the speed just keeps going. They labor in the stretch, but there's no one coming to get them.
And I found Amazing Rosie to be super impressive last time. That run, granted, like you say, there was no pressure, but the time was very quick.
No, he ran great.
And yeah, they paid a lot for this horse at the sale. He's well bred. He's a Rosberg. We just mentioned Rosbergs are hot. And made no mistake, just galloped away from him that day in a nice time. So I got Amazing Rosie on top. I put Weather Bill, the Woodbine Invader, in for second. The recently claimed horse by Bob Chima. And it's tough to see how this is going to set up. There's just so much pace. If Grider can get him maybe to relax a little bit and sit behind these horses, maybe he makes a nice run, because I think Amazing Rosie and Stole It, I think, are definitely the speed of the speed, and I see them really going. I have Stole It in for third, a great run, and he got pressured early, which is why
it was an out-and-out sprint early. They were flying.
Him and Leo's in the house were just flying early, and so he was getting a little tired late, but he still had enough left in the gas to hang on and win, and he put Leo's in the house away, and he's a nice horse.
It's a tough race.
It is a tough race.
There's good colts in here.
It is.
It's really going to separate them, I think. I mean, they've all had wire-to-wire wins, but who's to say not one of them can maybe change their style
exactly.
and rate, because whoever is successful doing that will likely win the race, because there's going to be a crazy pace. Yeah,
at least 2 of them are going to go, that's for sure. I went 7, 2, and 1. And on to the nightcap.
10 grand maidens.
$10,000 maidens for 3-year-olds and up. And I went to the 4 Car Talk, picking Robert Skelly for his second winner of the day.
He's going to have 4 wins today for you.
I'd say so, yes.
Our good buddy.
That's put it mildly. The Irish bred horse with the Irish bred jockey ran for 25 last time in that Leprechaun Kid Run Stormy Run race. Drops in for 10. Not only that 25 I thought was a decent race. This one is quite a bit softer, and there's not really a whole lot in here. So I went with Car Talk. I put Timeless Cash. Carl Austin's horses look good this spring. They're running well. He ran once out this year. He ran for Maiden Special Weight. He takes in that Stole It, Whose Daddy Is That race. He takes the big drop down to 10. He's live. And in third spot, I put Michael's Glory. Horse that ran for 5 last time. It was claimed for the John Snow Barn. Our good friend Wayne Oliver was in on the claim there. We always hope good luck to Mr. Oliver. I got 5, 4, and 1 in the nightcap, the maiden 10.
I went to the 3-horse Contact Man. Not just a race where there's no solid form to go on at all. You are really guessing in a race like this. This is, you really have to create form here. And
that's why they created the all button.
Yeah, and Pete Gregory has some nice works put into this colt, and he's at 1 minute and 4/5 there on April the 11th. Just kind of slowed things down after that 102, then a 105 and changed breezing. But this horse got bet early, ran 3 times last year, was bet in its first start, didn't run to the hype. I don't know. I just think with 3 races under his belt last year, he might come back as a better 4-year-old. I think there could be some progression. I don't think this horse really showed you what he is. He's out of the mare Camberley, who was a nice mare. Joey Franco's are solid. I just think this horse might. This is a very soft spot, so I just think this horse might with the learning year under his belt, that he can be a nice colt maybe this year, decent horse. How about the 7-horse General Question on the class drop for second? Showed a bit of speed against Knightsbridge and Wings of Time. Drops into a lot easier spot, and he had been working well going into that race, and also had been running in Third Paradise. I give him a shot. How about the 6th, the firster Keno Magic in for third, by Snorter out of the mare Juvie Hall. Juvie Hall was a really nice mare for John Snow. This horse had a lot of potential, ran some big races, just missed winning a stake. This is a pretty genuine horse, Juvie Hall. It came from Florida by Graham Hall, and the works are decent. I know there's the last couple are, the 106, but it's when you got them in for 10 grand, you're not going to put any minute and change works into them if you want to kind of get away with one. So I wouldn't be surprised to see this horse be pretty live with Amadeo Perez aboard. So I went 3, 7, and 6 in a race I didn't fall in love with at all, but might be in the last leg of your pick 4 wise to play quite a few of them. Well, that'll do it for our analysis of the Sunday, May the 12th program at Hastings. Up next on screen will be a quick look at a recap of our selections. And my picks are on screen first. Back in race number 1, I went to the 4, Minstrel's Time, 4-2-1. In race number 2, the 4, Uniqua, 4-6-2, the old 4-4 daily double. In the third race, I went to the 5, Bridge Jumper, 5-1-3. Fourth race, number 3, Willamette, 3-4-6 for me. In race number 5, the 10, Princess Sparkle, 10-7-6. In the 6th race, number 7, Funny Face, 7-4-3. 7th race, number 4, Red Rose, 4-1-2. And in the 8th race, number 3, Contact Man. I'm going to try Contact Man to win it. Went 3-7-6.
And on to my picks. There we go. In the first race, I went to the 5. None of that over the 2 and the 6. The second race, I looked for Pineapple to repeat. I went to the 6, 4, and 5. In the third race, the stake, I went to number 5, Bridge Jumper over the 4 and the 1. In the fourth, I went to the 5, Miss Derrick over the 6 and 3. In the fifth race, I agree with Mike on number 10, Princess Sparkle over the 6 and the 4. In the 6th race, number 3, Cafe Electric, I picked over the 4 and the 1. In the 7th race, I went to the 7, Amazing Rosie over the 2 and the 1. And in the nightcap, I went with the Irish double, Car Talk and Robert Skelly, the 4 over the 5 and the 1.
All right, hopefully everyone's enjoyed this edition of Handicappers Corner, brought to you by the Derby Bar and Grill. Once again, we'll be back next weekend, Drew, with the Preakness.
Right.
Should be
Orb going for the second leg?
Orb, can he do it? I don't know. I'm a little concerned. In races like there's quite a few horses that skip the Derby and they're heading straight to the Preakness. So it's always, that's why it's so much tougher to win
it these days.
That's right. And there's horses that were in the Derby that skip the Preakness and go straight to the Belmont. They're waiting for Orb in the Belmont if he is successful in the Preakness.
That's right. You go back and look at Secretary. He ran against the same horses every go.
Yeah. The horses are skipping races, and it should be an interesting Preakness. Looks like a big field again, so don't forget next Saturday, the Preakness from Pimlico Racecourse.
I do like the hands he's in, though. Shug McGay knows how to lead him over there.
He's a Hall of Famer. He knows how to. He's been training for them Phipps for a lot of them black and red silk. The black silks with the red cap have been doing pretty good for a lot of years.
Yes, they have.
Wouldn't be surprised.
Listen to me. Go empty your bank account. Orb wins right back.
All right, don't forget Mother's Day. Bring the mums out to the Derby here. If you're not going to the track, got the Sunday brunch. Take advantage of that right here at the Derby Bar and Grill, as well as races on all the televisions. Once again, on behalf of Drew, I've been Mike. Thanks for tuning in to Handicappers Corner. We'll see you next week.